Now we have 10 job openings in all, 4 of which have been filled already, Mike. Your sense of the room read here, based on, your reporting and also talking to everyone, why have we seen so much turnover, including 2 guys, one who resigned and one who got fired, of 18 plus years of tenure? And I looked it up, Mike. That's never happened in any North American sport. We've never had in baseball, basketball, NBA, or NHL 2 coaches as tenured as Harbaugh and Tomlin not return in the same coaching cycle. That's never happened. Why do you think this is happening?
I think it's a combination of factors that led to a perfect storm as we were trying to map out where the vacancies would be beyond the 2 that came up during the season. And there were only 2. It seemed kind of light this year from interim coaching arrangements with the Titans and the Giants. As we got to week 18, the Raiders and the Browns were the 2 that everybody basically knew were coming. How many more beyond that? That was the question. So you get some of these other arrangements. You're always going to have the cluster of bad teams that stay bad, so they fire coaches every 2 or 3 years, and it's the usual suspects who are swinging back around looking for more coaches. But then you have the Harbaugh situation, Tomlin, McDermott on top of that. We get to this spot where there's 10 jobs to be filled. And so far, first-time head coaches, guys with no head coaching experience at the NFL or college level, are being shut out. And I wonder how long that trend will continue, because you do take a calculated risk when you take a guy who is X's and O's and you put him in charge of the team. And I think a lot of these teams see the benefit of finding someone who has shown he can be a head coach, college or pro, and be successful, because it is a fundamentally different job. So that's one of the things I'm watching is these next 6 get filled. How many first-time coaches are going to end up with the jobs?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess who would be a non-first-time head coach you could wind up with a job would be, I guess, obviously Mike McCarthy or anybody else that just got fired. What are you hearing about the Steelers' job search right now,
Well,
Mike?
The Steelers are being very deliberate. They're casting a very broad net. They're turning over a lot of different stones. And, when you have nailed 3 straight coaching searches dating back to the first Nixon administration, probably the year the Odd Couple debuted in 1969, you have more pressure on you to get the next one right. And if they get this one right, the pressure is going to be suffocating the next time around. So their pattern has been established. Even though it's only 3 hires, it's a 57-year trend. Defensive coordinator, first-time head coach. That's why I've been paying attention to Chris Shula. It just makes sense on a bunch of different levels, including the fact that Chuck Noll, 15 days before he became the head coach of the Steelers, he coordinated the defense for the Baltimore Colts, who lost to your New York Jets in Super Bowl III. The head coach was Don Shula. Shula recommended Noll for the Steelers' job, and there's just a symmetry to all of that. And the Steelers have a sense of history and connections, and it won't surprise me if Chris Shula ends up getting that job. But are the Steelers going to go a different way? One thing to keep in mind, the NFL has changed dramatically since 2007 when they hired Tomlin. It's skewed even more toward offense and player safety. And will the Steelers believe that their past formula of a defensive coach needs to yield to what the rest of the league is doing? Because when you look at the Steelers offense, since Ben Roethlisberger retired, and they don't intend to be in position to draft another franchise quarterback, they need to find a way to goose the offense. So I really do think that they are looking anywhere and everywhere. And the problem with having a lot of great choices and a lot of people who are going to want that job, because it's a desirable job because they don't fire coaches, you ultimately got to make a decision. And that just adds even more stress to the situation.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.